Good evening, everybody. I fooled Chris again. I fooled Chris again in the intro. I fooled Chris again in the intro.
Welcome to the OBT Show.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Chris.
Every week I try to fool Chris. Well, not really. This is the first week I did it.
He did it, like, not fairly.
Well, because we never have a plan on how to intro this podcast. So what I do is I do a countdown, very professional. And then Chris was like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, I'm not telling you. Just go. And then I fooled him.
We're like the Bill Gates of podcasting. We're just like, we don't need high school. Jump out, professionals.
We don't need something called a rundown or production value on this.
Hold on, let me see my notes. Russell. Oh, notes.
We go sans notes, as they say in French. Sans notes.
So what are we sans notesing this week?
You had told me a story on the way over here. You got to see something cool. You got to see a little premiere of a film that, does it come out this week or next week?
It comes out next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah, the 22nd of March.
All right, what'd you see talk about? How'd you do this?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
It was amazing. It was Antoine Fuqua, who, if you don't know, he's the director of Training Day. So you already have like this impression that it's going to be a good movie going into it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's a Gerard Butler action movie. So you're like, all right. The Gamer game or movie that whatever that he made was the Gamer.
The Gamer, yeah.
Yeah, that had so much potential and it kind of like fell flat. This one, a million times better.
Yeah.
It was like obscene with the action. I can't talk anymore.
It was just audio, no video.
Like no, there was parts where he was just like they just kept it rolling, and when they would cut to something that was kind of like something to slow it down and add plot to it. Nope, sorry, right back into the action.
Right.
And like there's like a scene in the movie where they have him in the Oval Office. He's like trying to like calm down like for a second as they're trying to like plan this stuff that's going on, and then a guy just comes in there and attacks him as they're like waiting to call him back, and he's just like doing all of his Secret Service moves, and
that's awesome. So Gerard Butler plays a Secret Service member.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. He I won't tell you anything that you can't see in the trailers, but he works for the president's detail, and the president's wife dies, and then it's like
that's not in the trailer.
That's in the trailer.
It is? Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't think it is. I saw the trailer.
No, it's definitely in the trailer.
You're alive.
It's in the trailer.
All right. Sorry, guys.
It's his adjusting to life after that, and then terrorists come and take over the White House. It's crazy.
That is awesome.
It's crazy.
So how did you see it, though? How did you get the tickets?
I went on to a website like a year ago, and basically what they do is they give you updates for like movies that are coming out. So a couple weeks ago, I was just like, all right, let me just check my email. And I was like, oh, there's a special invite to see Olympus Has Fallen. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go see a movie for free. And then signed up, got the tickets, drove down, and ta-da.
Ta-da. Now, was the line long?
Yeah, like they tell you to come early because it's...
Right.
They overbook on purpose because they want to make
sure
that
They want a full theater, yeah.
Plus, on top of that, they have, they have to have room for the press to go in there to review it. So if the press members decide that they want to review it at that theater... So
there's press there as well? Mm-hmm. Is there a designated separate press line for all that?
And they're like Writers Guild and stuff like that. Like, basically what they do is they sit in on the movie like a normal person and watch the movie, and then they review it afterwards or whatever. But that's their opportunity to see it before it hits theaters. Now...
And the movie theater is fully operational, right? It's not like they closed it down special for this.
No, it was a regular movie theater. It was kind of slow, I guess, because it was a Wednesday night.
Well, yeah, that's not prime movie time.
Yeah, so it was low, like lower as far as like the amount of people there that normally would be there. But they had a special roped off line for us, and they had people filling out like reviews and stuff for the movie, or not reviews, like little quotes. And it was pretty cool. What happened was they had iPads. Yeah. You put in your name, your email, and you put in like a quote about the movie. And then what'll happen is they email you a poster of the movie with your quote on it. And then you can win the poster, I think, if you tweeted the
So they do this after the movie?
They did it before and after. I don't know what the when you put in the iPad beforehand, like saying like, I'm so excited to see you or something.
Yeah, that's kind of defeats the...
But they were like,
this movie seems really interesting.
I am very excited.
Who's in this film again? Said Chris Thurston.
Who is Fuqua? You notice that
Morgan Freeman's president again?
They never say Fuqua's name. Like, they never say this movie directed by Antoine Fuqua. It's always from the director of Training Day.
Yeah, which it would be nice if you kind of put... Well, I guess there's not that many in the general public people that would know Antoine. Like, I didn't really recognize who his name was until you told me, director of Training Day.
Yeah, but I mean, exactly. So when they say the director of Training Day, it's got the name value.
Right.
But I mean, like, the guy does good movies. So, I mean, he's got to have, like, some name recognition, some, more public recognition. I think if they start saying Antoine Fuqua over and over and over again, people are going to be like, oh man, that Fuqua guy, he's great.
Just like...
That's my general public congealed voice.
That was somebody's quote for the movie post. Fuqua's pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Says Tom Jones.
I said it was best action movie in the last 10 years.
Really?
That was my quote.
Do you believe that?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, as far as unrelenting action, it was just really, really, really cool. And a lot of the fighting wasn't Hollywood. It was very it felt realistic.
Realistic, so not any crazy. Are there any over the top stunts where you're like, I don't know if that's real life?
Some of the things that happen in the movie seem unrealistic, but I mean the action parts of it where they're fighting each other and stuff, that seems realistic.
So if this movie is on one end of the spectrum, the movie that I want to see desperately, G.I. Joe Retaliation, is probably on the opposite end.
That's more of campy
comic book-y type stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this one's supposed to be a little bit better as far as a movie goes.
Now,
they took it back for a couple months to refilm stuff.
Did they really?
For G.I. Joe, yeah. G.I. Joe was supposed to release last
that's
year.
right. Oh, G.I. Joe, that's right. Well, I thought they also wanted to put it in 3D. They weren't going to release it in 3D. And then
they redid it in 3D, and then they refilmed some stuff.
The funny thing about that film is that you wouldn't know Channing Tatum's in it.
Well, because
it's all about The Rock and Bruce Willis in all the trailers. Which it should be.
$5, Channing Tatum dies.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Why do you think he's not shown in any of the trailers throughout the movie?
That's true. He's only shown in that one desert scene, and then... But they showed him in a plane or something like that, but maybe he dies later.
And then everybody's dead.
Marlon Wayne's not in it.
Yeah, maybe he's dead, too.
How did they... I want to... I like when they explain one line, like, oh, where's your friend? He died. Anyway, here comes a mission.
He was an epic jackass, and he died like an epic jackass should.
Well, I think they didn't write him out because the premise is that the government is taken over by Cobra, and then they blow up the G.I. Joes. So that's an easy write-off where they can be like, oh, he was in that tent that blew up. Done. End of story.
Been written out of
the
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I don't think he was heartbroken.
That's not much of a slight.
Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I'm sure he's really not upset that he wasn't in the new one, that he's not in this new one.
Yeah, I'm almost positive because it was so bad.
The first one was funny bad. It's amusing. It's it's if you're sick or you're bored, you can put in that movie G.I. Joe and have a good time with it.
I guess you can say you had a good time. If I was sick or bored, I could say oh well, it happened.
I enjoyed it.
I sat on the couch and watched it.
Did you play G.I. Joe as a kid? Did you play G.I. Joe toys?
A little bit. I wasn't really G.I. Joe. I was a Ninja Turtles guy.
What?
Dude, I love Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles and Transformers.
I had both. This is what I did. This is
here we go.
This is the mind at work of a only child because I had a lot of time to myself. So Star Wars toys came out in the late 90s too. They rebranded them. So there's Stormtroopers, there's Darth Vader. So they did almost the entire universe. Fun fact, I discovered early on that my G.I. Joe toys were the same size as my Star Wars toys.
Oh, God. Here we go.
So I, in my mind, created storylines where the G.I. Joes teamed up with Luke, Leia, and Han Solo and Lando and joined the Alliance as a covert... I'm not making any of this shit up. This is the world I built in my mind. Because there was a book, Shadows of the Empire, and a video game, Shadows of the Empire, that dealt with the Black Sun, who were a criminal element. That was who I gave Duke, because Duke was in space at this point and used Luke's lightsaber. He was training to become a Jedi. Duke, and don't look at that. This is a great storyline. And
have you considered writing this stuff down before we give the good details out to the internet?
I know, right?
Some fan fiction stuff.
Some fan fiction's happening because in my mind I was like, the G.I. Joes are the covert special ops team of the rebellion. They're going after Black Sun leadership. So they would be landing on moon bases and landing in fortresses and shooting up with their giant over unrealistic guns, blowing up stormtroopers, going on the little scooter bikes. I had the accessories. I had the planes. Like, in my mind, I totally was cool with an F-15 plane gliding over Alderaan.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
In my mind, I'm like, this makes sense! You know?
Place whatsoever.
United States military emblem, helicopter. That's cool. They use helicopters even in space wars.
That just pushes the America mindset.
But it was cool, man. Like, and I had the ship from Shadow of the Empire that, and I forget the guy's name, Dash Rendar. That was the fake Han Solo that they inserted that dies at the end of Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah, the
like it was Han's friend.
Yeah,
it was Han's friend that conveniently was only alive when Han Solo wasn't around, and then when he came back into the picture, he dies.
Ended.
He's done. Just like Count Sizor, the reptilian guy.
Yeah,
and he had the blades, the fan blades that he used. So cool.
I hope George Lucas is listening to this, and he's just gonna go like, "Oh, I have an idea.
I have an idea. I have an idea."
And then the music's gonna kick, like, everybody's going to go see episode 7, and what? G.I. Joe?
G.I. Joe? But I'm serious, man. Like, in my mind, I had the whole damn thing said, like, Flint was working with Duke and Luke to fight Darth Vader, and I always had, don't laugh at me, this is good shit. G.I. Joes would always get captured and stuff, and Luke would save them, but at the same time, they were training to, like, Jedi stuff, and, like, Duke had inherent Jedi ability. And he became, like, the first merged G.I. Joe Skywalker rebellion person.
So you had very, very serious stuff.
I had serious setup time, too, for all this shit. Like, it took me hours to prep, and then I would fight, but I didn't make noises to myself. So if you saw me, this is what you would hear, just silence. It was just, and you hear click, click of the action figures fighting each other.
It was in my head. Yeah. Oh, my God.
It was in my head the whole time, man.
I need to have a
if you had a video camera
with Brendan. Brendan, how are you feeling
if anyone
today?
videotaped me doing that, I would be an insane asylum because I had the most intense face. Just I was like, one time when I was little, I cried because I just set up all my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I had the Terradrome action playset.
Oh, man, that thing was cool.
It was huge.
My neighbors had that, so I would bring all my stuff over.
It was huge, and I just set up for a battle. My mom was like, it's dinner time. I was like, no, I just been setting up. I wanted to, I had built it because I had storylines, too. It was so stupid. I would start off with, like, a comic book. I'd have storylines.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And like a cartoon, and I would build up the battle to the epic conclusion, and this was what it took me 2 hours to set this goddamn thing up because Splinter was captured. I remember now. Splinter was captured. I think I had the Ghostbusters because they were the same size too. They were involved somehow, and Slimer was involved, and they found the Terradome, and they're gonna blow it up to hell. And I just set it all up with them on the perch on the coffee table, about to descend onto the Terradome. My mom said dinner time, and I went no, and I was like, I just bawled like a bitch. I was like, I just spent so much time setting this up. Why?
See, that's true pain right there. That was pain.
So
some
then
work put in.
So I would alternate. I'd finish up so sad. I finished up a storyline with my turtles. I put them away, and I'd bring back G.I. Joe. And sometimes and I got dark because I also had Marvel heroes too. And I combined them with DC hero action figures that I had.
Yeah, I did that a few times too.
And the Batman, I had one Batman character that was like my Batman, and it was Legends of the Dark Knight line, Future Batman, because he looked the most equipped to be involved with Captain America, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. Like, he looked like regular Batman just doesn't seem to fit in my mind with the Marvel heroes because they're so fantastical and less realistic than DC stuff. And I hated Superman. I always had Superman dead. Superman was always dead. He was always dead. But in my future world, I did, like, towards the end of playing, I got really dark with it. Like, I think I was 15 by the time I stopped playing with action figures. I was really late. But, like, it was like a Frank Miller moment in my own childhood because I was like, I'm going to age Batman to 45, 50. And then all of his friends are dead. And I was like, then I'd enact like Ultron killing Spider-Man and Daredevil and Captain America.
See, that's awesome.
And what I would do, I also incorporated Resident Evil toys. So I had the giant, I forget
Was it Nemesis?
Nemesis hunting down all the heroes, and Batman was cool. Like, in my mind, that was it. And I never finished the story. Spoiler alert. It's still out there.
Are you going to be okay?
As a 29-year-old man, I don't know. I'm tempted because they're at my aunt's house, and I was there this weekend to drop off some comic books. I'm always like, I should finish the story.
You should finish this. Dude, that's... Like, I'm kind of getting, like... I want to know what happened. Like,
because it's a dark, It's a dark future, and I use Sentinel. I have a Sentinel here. Like Sentinels were patrolling, and I think I had the main villain was a what would I have? Well, Mr. Sinister, because I had a Mr. Sinister action figure, old school version that was like a little bit thinner before they kind of made them outrageously large. And I had Thanos, and I had one other person. I had Red Skull. That's who my main villain was, Red Skull, because I thought Batman and Red Skull are the most compatible as far as a main villain. Look at you're like, yes, Brendan, that's so true.
No, I did something similar.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to feel like you're crazy or anything like that. Except I messed up a few toys doing that, where we had Spider-Man versus Venom, and that was my DC Marvel crossover, because I had Batman would always come help out Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's a little bitch, and Venom's fucking awesome. And then one of the times, symbiote got stuck to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man suffered chemical burns from removing the symbiote. And I needed those chemical burns to look real, so Spider-Man got set on fire.
That's awesome. I would never do that to my toys.
No, well, we went to my neighbor's house, and we were just sitting there, and I was like, all right, so you know how you got that barbecue pit in the back? We need to turn it on.
That is awesome.
With wood and fire.
And blow it up. But I'm telling you, man, I would construct these stories that were so complex, because I remember vividly, in my mind, I played it out where Peter Parker, right before he died, called out for Mary Jane and Bruce. He said Mary Jane, and then Bruce showed up, and he went, Bruce, and then Ultron shot him in the head. And
then Spider-Man killed Mary Jane with his semen. His radioactive semen.
Don't darken further my childhood memories with your filthiness.
It happened.
It didn't happen.
It happened. It was a real thing.
It was a real thing. But that's what I did in my mind. And then the G.I. Joe thing, again, and I was like, they're shipping space drugs. And Cobra's involved in the black market of the Republic and the Empire. And
I'm telling you, you should write some of these things down.
I know.
There's an audience for it.
There is an audience, I think. I might do that.
Other kids that sat alone, not talking,
loners.
Playing with their
I'm reaching out to all the loners out there. Are you like me, who had no friends? Did you spend most of your Friday and Saturday nights with your mom?
How many conversations did you have without talking out loud?
How many fantastical scenes did you have without having been on drugs or any alcohol? That would be me. But man, I still have most of my toys. I have a box of toys in my aunt's house, and I have some toys in my parents' house that I brought some here too. Some of them are in their package, but there's a bunch that are behind me on my bookshelf that are open.
Was that the Future Spider-Man?
That's Future Spider-Man, and then I have Iron Man and Ultron lights up, and those are the toys in Daredevil. But poor Daredevil, every scenario and every storyline, because I didn't really like Daredevil as a kid. He always was dead. He always died.
See, I never had anything against
his legs
Daredevil.
broken.
Yeah, I could see that. It disabled him more. Yeah. Make him more. He's like, I don't have any superpowers. Take out the blind guy. Done.
I had Professor X in a wheelchair action figure.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, Disney normally.
But it was cool because for some reason they gave him a kung fu grip, and I always gave him a gun, and I always had dark scenes.
So is he waving a gun
where Professor X is shooting people? I'm like, he's the best mind guy ever, and he's shooting people. Why? I should just have in my head, but as a kid, been he can just shut somebody's mind. But I was like, it's kind of cool if Professor X lulls them
makes
in,
them dark,
and they don't know that he's Professor X because he's in shadow, and it comes up, and he's like, I got you.
You know what toy I remember that I missed the most?
What?
I had a Michelangelo Ninja Turtles toy where it was you pushed their head in and it would stick in, and then you would squeeze the legs and they were they would pop out of the shell. The most vivid memories I have of my childhood, early childhood, before having any storylines.
My storylines were so goddamn complex.
When I was 5 and I was like, ooh, click.
I had the Batman Returns, which is still to this day, I will argue with anybody, best playset ever. It was a Batman Returns Wayne Manor that had it could fold up, and when you opened it, there was 3 sections. I can't believe I still remember. There was the manor entrance, which had skylines, but the skylines you could crash into, and they'd flip down plastic.
Oh, sick.
And you had door that worked, door opened, and then you had a flap that acted as the garage door for the Batmobile, so you could go in and out. And it also had a little a plastic cutout for the clock, so you could peek out and you have your Batman step into the clock. And the best feature it had was it came with a Bruce Wayne action figure. You could have an actual quick change. So you would load up your Bruce Wayne, and then you would lift it up and twist, and then you'd have your Batman action figure there. That's had cool. A Bat computer. Had a little shelving unit for all your accessories.
Noises, or was it a fake computer?
Well, in my mind, I didn't need any real noises.
You didn't need noises.
I didn't need any real noises.
It was happening in your head.
It was happening in my head. And then the opposite end was the Penguin's hideout. So it had a little bridge that you could knock out, and it had you could. I never used it because my mom didn't like me using any of the liquids that came with it, or like ooze.
Yeah, it gave me like the goopy stuff.
Yeah, and my mom always threw that away and never let me use it.
We used to make our own.
Probably that would be better because I never trusted the chemicals.
Yeah, because Nickelodeon had it was the big thing was GAC,
yeah.
So we would make our own GAC.
Make your own GAC,
and or what was it like cornstarch?
Yeah, cornstarch and water, baking soda.
I think and food coloring. Yeah, I always made my own for my Ninja Turtles because it had you have to have ooze.
Yeah.
With Ninja Turtles so that way they can become Ninja Turtles.
But exactly, and I remember I had Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, a Foot Ninja.
Who was the robot? Like the robot turtle.
Oh, the robot turtle. Oh, I had
Kang
him
was
too.
The brain.
Yeah, they built. There was that Shredder built one to fight them. Mecha Turtle.
Yeah,
something.
I had that one.
I had that.
It had like a clear pink plastic brain.
Yes.
On top, and you
couldn't really
Kang? Do anything with it. I did when I was younger.
I had the full body Kang.
He. You know how some things get destroyed? He was one of the ones that got
destroyed.
He got done.
But like I had stored because I also had the little. You could buy an individual brain Kang with a little walking because he had that little extra walking suit. When he wasn't
I had
big
him in the big guy.
I had him in the big guy too, but I lost the plastic piece that snapped in, so he was always exposed, which I didn't like. In my storyline, I had to reimagine that.
You just cover it with like some clear tape.
I made him arrogant. I went the next level. I wasn't just like, oh, he has a force. I was like, he's just arrogant.
He doesn't need it.
Like I gave them like full on background stories, feelings, histories. Yeah.
You had more fun than I did, I guess. Because
I don't know
I was just,
because
melting my toys and
again everything was in my head and this like the storyline I should have written down because they're pretty in hindsight like they're workable. They're not A+ stories, but I'm sure I could have pulled some good things out of that.
You definitely could, man.
The premise, but it was
some of the fan fiction crap that people write nowadays is so bad. Like at least yours has some like creative, like all right, G.I. Joe and Star Wars. I've never thought of anything like that before, but you're like,
I'm on it.
I have
Duke, Roadblock,
I have
Lady
them
Jane.
in place in the Rebels.
In the Rebels, and then I had all the all of Cobra be elite stormtroopers. That was the storyline. Like there's regular stormtroopers like the army, and then Cobra was the special forces of the Empire, right? And then which Emperor Palpatine charged Cobra Commander and Darth Vader to oversee. It was like Darth Vader's secret army, which was what my premise was for Cobra.
All I'm hearing right now is that you need to spend some time alone.
I know.
And actually say these things out loud.
I know.
Like your stories into a recorder.
Yes.
Like what we're doing right now.
Because in my mind. I know I'm spending like 15 minutes on this.
No, it's okay.
Because in my mind,
I want you to know you have so much potential with this stuff.
I know. In my mind,
this is my flattering of you.
Thank you. Because this is what I was thinking.
Even though I still want to make fun of you.
You can go ahead. You asshole. But in my mind, I always was like, how does the Empire maintain control of all of their cities? And there has to be pockets within a city that is resistant. And how do they spend their time? They can't put the army, much like our own army doesn't throw the whole army at them. They have special forces unit. Cobra would be your anti-rebel special forces with all their specials, because it makes sense. Like they have the special assassins, they have the aquatic unit, the SEAL unit, saying then you have to have a rebellion counterpoint, which is your G.I. Joes.
Aqua suit Batman join the aquatic unit.
I could never have my Batman and Spider-Man connect because they were too big. I couldn't justify them in the storyline of joining G.I. Joes because they were too big.
Yeah, no, that's true. That makes sense. They're very, very usually big action figures.
I had a lot of logic in my storylines.
Godlike.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Joes.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
You had parameters.
I had parameters.
You stuck to them.
Some of them I could use. If it was a robot, like Ultron would make sense in the G.I. Joe Star Wars universe. A big robot.
Kind of be like a Sentinel.
Yeah, and I use Sentinels too. It was like big, and I could because that Sentinel has when you pop the neck, it pops out the chest piece, so you could put a character inside of it. G.I. Joe's, I could fit like 5 dudes in there, pack them in, and they got captured.
See, at least you kept your toys in one piece. I
know. I was obsessive, and I have bins of just accessories that I still know to this day which goes to which.
We had, when Spider-Man died, we had Mary Jane standing in the window for a long time. It was fun. You go to wash your hands in the kitchen, and there's just Mary Jane just standing there.
You had a Mary Jane action figure?
Yeah, we had a blonde action figure that we colored the hair red, so it would.
Wow,
fit.
You went in depth, man.
Dude, we didn't care about ruining our shit because it was like if it got used like 5 times, that's 5 times that more than we used it at all. Some things just sat there and collected dust, but Mary Jane stood in the window for a long time. It's kind of
intense.
Romantic.
Very romantic. How long did she keep the flame lit, so to speak?
I don't know. Until somebody decided it was no longer necessary
to own this. It's been 20 years.
She's still there, looking out over in Florida.
They say she never left your house. They say she still looks outside.
She's still waiting for Spider-Man to come back.
We got really sad. That's a sad story. But yeah, man, I had so many storylines. Maybe I should sit down one day, just sort of write some stuff and ideas and offshoots. But I just that was just that moment when I realized that they all fit. I was like, what?
You could even inspire someone to make a comic.
I could. Let's do it. Who owns it? Marvel owns, I think, G.I. Joe. DC owns G.I. Joe. Marvel owns Star Wars.
Make something happen. Make friends.
Dear Marvel, DC.
This could be the start of what is known as the joining of DC and Marvel.
The expanded universe. I got to get in the horn with Disney.
Do you hear that sound off in distance? Sounds like fanboys are grabbing pitchforks. I'm dead in about an hour.
I'm dead, yeah.
They're never supposed to mate.
How dare you?
Duke would never survive Alderaan space.
Spider-Man wouldn't have chemical burns.
Batman would kill Spider-Man. He'd knock out Spider-Man.
I hate those conversations, by the way.
All right, no,
I find them annoying. Sometimes they're fun, but I find them forced and somewhat contrived when it's in a comic book shop. I feel like some people force those conversations because they're in a comic book shop.
See, no, I feel like the ones that bother me are the ones that don't make any sense that they're actually having that argument.
Right.
Like in my house, we were talking about like different people fighting each other, and I was like, best DC and Marvel fight that you can ever possibly have would be Superman and Hulk. Talk about a never-ending fight. It would just
awesome.
be just constant. Like as long as Superman's in the sunlight, they would just beat the snot out of each other for years.
Oh yes,
and that would be really really cool.
Oh
because
yeah,
you can't really say a definitive who would win in that situation. They would just keep beating the crap out of each other. Any other scenario? Batman wins.
Yeah, Batman wins in every single. I would say, I would put Spider-Man. See, Spider-Man's a tough one because there's not really much of equivalent. Spider-Man, Batman, but then Batman wins. Green Lantern. Who would Green Lantern fight in Marvel? Hero-wise,
probably somebody like magical. That
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like somebody that can like do
Green Arrow, Hawkeye. That's the matchup you want to see. Who's the better bowman?
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be really cool. I would.
But that doesn't carry a Hulk Superman weight.
No,
see, that's just
Hulk Thor. I mean, Superman Thor. I pay because that's magic versus
Superman would win.
I don't know. Superman can't fight against magic.
Yeah, but Thor isn't really magic, is it?
Well, he's that mystical energy. He's
okay.
He's in that range where it'd be interesting to see how Superman would handle that.
I guess. I mean, I guess it could be argued, but I really feel like in that fight that would be an easy win. Superman. I mean, come on, look at it this way. Hulk beats the crap out of the entire Avengers.
Yes.
Who out of all of the Justice League, besides Batman, could beat everyone? Superman.
I'd give Martian Manhunter some more credit.
I mean, yeah, he would. I think his conscious would come into play.
I would put Marvel Boy against Martian Manhunter because they're both aliens, both from different planets.
It'd be interesting to watch.
Or, yeah, I would put
as far as like powers go.
Well, yeah, exactly. I would.
You've got the beam.
Iron Man. Who's the tech person over in DC Universe?
Batman.
Yeah, all right, but that's so simple. I feel like
Batman wins.
Yeah, I think it would just be like EMP pulse. Then I electrocute you. I scramble your circuits. You dead, Tony Stark. Tony's like, what? He's drunk. That's
he starts to fly, and Batman's like, EMP.
Tony, I attached the mechanism to the back of your suit. If you fly, you die.
Drunk Tony Stark.
And he's like just hunched over in his suit, holding his head.
You're just
going like, where's my flask?
You hear,
what are you doing? I'm burning up with my soup. Disgusting.
Then he walks away.
I win by default.
Batman just wins. Because Batman, I mean, he has a contingency against everyone in DC. It's believable that he'd have a contingency against everyone in Marvel.
Best storyline Grant Morrison ever wrote.
What,
the contingency against every hero is fantastic.
I love having that argument with people, too. Because every single time I have it, I was like, it's in the comics. Done.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? I was like, they did a comic about how Batman can beat everyone, and unfortunately, it happens. But he's just not the one doing it. Everyone else uses his plans.
Right.
Well, that doesn't mean Batman can do it. No, that means Batman can do it.
and the key that people forget, too, is that Batman made those plans to immobilize them, not kill them.
Yeah, exactly. It's to
but
render
you
them...
know that he thought about ways to kill them if he has to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's for the... For Dark Knight Returns, he spent years collecting kryptonite dust.
Yeah.
So that he could just spray Superman for just a brief period in time to let him know that he's better than him.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, that's Batman.
That's so funny.
That's Batman.
Because then he breathes it in and it's in his system and you can't get
he's
it out.
He's just like, ugh, and then Batman's just beating the snot out of him. It's like,
so
by the way, I win.
I'm better than you.
And then he's dead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get that deep with you, Clark. Clark, oh shit. Batman out.
Superman.
Batman out. Peace out.
So that was my world, man. Action figures.
So what else do we want to talk about today?
You had something else you want to talk about?
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass 2. That
Kick-Ass.
trailer came out. That was awesome. With Jim Carrey, who's kind of making a resurgence.
Well, I think it's cool because he's playing...
Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, but in the comics, it's two characters.
Oh, really?
It's Colonel Stars and Lieutenant Stripes. But in this, he's just Colonel Stars and Stripes, and he has the dog. So I think it's interesting.
Did you? So I liked it. I mean, to truth be told, never watched Kick-Ass.
The first one?
No, never saw it.
Get the fuck out. Are you serious?
I've never seen it, man.
How in the hell have you not seen it? Okay, you know what? We're actually going to hang out and we're watching Kick-Ass.
That's fair.
Seriously?
I never saw it.
Do you know how awesome it is?
I heard good things.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
As a comic book nerd,
I know.
You should be like oozing jizz out of every pore of your body.
Ew.
To watch Kick-Ass 2 because you saw Kick-Ass 1 and you didn't even see it.
All right.
Now I'm hurt. Now I'm going to just do spoiler dropping. Kick-Ass dies. Done.
No, he doesn't.
He dies in the first one. There is no second one. It's fake.
Shut up.
It's not real.
Shut up, you asshole.
I mean, this one, it looks really, really, really good. They're keeping a lot of the main cast and adding great supporting cast. And they're going to keep a lot of the characters from the comics. Yeah. And, I mean, the trailer just looked really, really, really good. I don't know. What did you think?
I liked the trailer. I thought Jim Carrey was funny. I think it's a good role for him. I thought he was pretty funny.
So you don't understand who the motherfucker is?
No.
So you don't understand who Red Mist is?
I remember Red Mist from the initial trailers.
Oh my god. You make me hurt.
I will look at it this weekend. I'm on duty this weekend. I'm working this weekend, so I have time.
I want to watch it with you so I can punch you every single moment.
Don't punch me,
realize,
no. I'm not.
No, when you have that moment of realization where you're like, oh man, this is so good, I'm going to hit you. I'm just going to go, bam.
Shut up. But all right, let's wrap this pod up. It's a short one this week.
I don't know if you want me to wrap this up. I'm going to say mean things about you.
I know. That's why I'm like writings on the wall. You hurt me.
You hurt me so. Okay.
What did you learn today?
I learned that I'm going to punch Brendan for not seeing Kick-Ass as soon as we're done recording. And I learned that not only is it okay to come up with storylines, it could prove beneficial later on in life when you play with action figures.
But I learned that the demented mind of my younger self might actually have some good things coming out of it. So I will actually put pen to paper and see where this goes.
And Batman beats everyone.
And Batman beats everybody. So this was your OBT show fix for the week. We'll be back next week, of course. I'm Brendan.
I'm Chris.
Have a good week.